Welcome back to my YouTube channel. It's Tottenham Hotspur against Crystal Palace. Is 14th in Crystal Palace against 16th of Tottenham. Is Oliver Glasner coming up against Igor Tudor. Should be a good one. A lot on the line as a Spurs fan. Let me just tell you, we've got to win this game. I don't know how many times we've said that, to be fair, this season. But now, just 1 point away from the relegation zone after Forest got a draw against Man City. That was bad enough. And West Ham beat Fulham. So catastrophic Wednesday evening for Tottenham. Thursday has to be better, and it is better by Tottenham doing their job. I cannot speak strongly enough about how we must go out, be brave, do our job, and get the result. I don't care if we have 1% of the ball or 99% of it. The same goes for shots as well. I'm not bothered. We need to get a result. That has to be the priority. No Premier League win in 2026. No home win since the 6th of December. We beat Brentford. There's a lot on the line. This is Crystal Palace team with little to no confidence at the moment, falling apart in 2026 under Ollie Glasner. His reputation at risk, if it hasn't already, of being ruined. A lot lies on this game. I will waste no time getting into it. So yeah, my thoughts going into it. Listen, you can't really be confident right now as a Spurs fan. Having said that, if you go and you've got to be the 12th man, the fans need that support. Having said that, that's not an issue. The fans have been with the team, with the manager, whoever it will be. We've been there every single game, full support, and the players now have to do their part. We've supported them. They need to give us something to get behind. That's the way that I see it. The worst thing for Tottenham is that we concede early on against Palace. I think it's the worst thing possible because A, they're sitting, but B, that, just be negative atmosphere inside the stadium. And it's a really bad feel when we go behind, especially early on, or we go a couple of goals behind, even worse. That's even catastrophic. We cannot afford to do that, but we have to get the win. We have to get the win. This is one of the biggest games of the season, if not the biggest to date. I'd go that far because our survival is at risk. We win 4 points from the drop. We reel Palace into this conversation. All of a sudden, it looks okay. It looks better. If we lose, then we're in a really, really deep situation. And I think, we're at risk of getting relegated. Put it this way, the Opta supercomputer by about 5% increased Tottenham's chance of going down just because West Ham beat Fulham. That's how catastrophic it was for the club. Have to get a result. I really do. Cannot be 3 defeats in a row for Tudor. If we lose against Palace, particularly badly, he could be out the door by the time we play Atletico. That's a serious possibility. With Forest 2.0, Watford 2.0, I'm fully aware of that. But that's the situation we're in right now. Rightly or wrongly, Tudor will be gone, I think, if we lose by, let's say, a couple of goals and have nothing about the performance. So it's a huge, huge game. And a huge game requires a big lineup and the right lineup to win the game. If I was Tottenham manager on screen now, it would be what my lineup would be. I'm sick of Vicario. He's not good enough. I've defended him for so long, but in reality, he's not good enough. His positioning, just shocking for a start. Distribution's another thing. Goodness me, it's horrific. It doesn't warrant the Premier League mocking him, though. That was completely wrong. It's not the first player that's done it to either. It's not a Tottenham problem with that. It's not a Tottenham agenda, I don't believe, but the Premier League as a whole needs to be more professional and represent that brand. But Kinski, how bad must he be? Well, I guess we'll find out if we start him. And I'll go with Danso, Dragusin, and Van der Ven. Let me make it clear. I want to see a back four. I want to see a back four. You get more offensive players in that system. But I'd go with this because I realistically know that Tudor's the manager, and I think the back three is what he knows best. So, or back five, whatever you want to call it. That's what he's played all his career. So it'd be strange to change it. If he wasn't here, then of course I would go with back four. But Danso drags in a Van der Ven. Danso coming back in, was only on the bench in the last game. Did come on, though, for Dragusin in the final stages. We need some balance. We need balance in this team. We need fight. Sousa brings both of those to the table. For me, it's an absolute must that he starts at left wing back. And before I go through any more of this team, there's three musts in this game that didn't happen in the last game. Tell's got to start, Richarlison's got to start, and Sousa's got to start. It's as simple as that. It is black and white. I'd start Porro at right wing back, Gray and Sarr midfield. We need fight. We need energy. We need what youth bring to the table, right? The first team have been failing. I know there's not many players available. I totally respect that. I think now we've just got 8 senior players out, say just 8. Still a lot. It's better than double digits, which has been for the majority of the season up till now, or the majority of 2026 up till now. But Gray and Sarr, they were thrown into the North London derby under Antonio Conte. They were thrown in, if you remember correctly, as well, against AC Milan. They both delivered very good performances. They're both capable of it in tough situations, tough scenarios. So for me, I think these two are the right duo. Paulinho I like, but for me, he's only performing at 70%. Ultimately, Basuma, I think he's okay. Nothing more to it than that. These two, I think, have the potential, and they're going to fight. They're going to fight, and they're going to give commitment. And in a relegation battle, if you have fight, you have grit, that's more than 50% of the story. Look at Wolves. Wolves have bite about them. They have fight. Burnley have had a little bit of fight. West Ham and Forest, especially West Ham, fight about them. Tottenham, to this date, to this moment, no fight at all. but continue with the team then. So 4-3. I'd do it as like a 3-4-2-1. I know it says wrong on there. I'd have Tell and Xavi Simmons behind Richarlison. That's what I would do. I think it's for me, it makes sense to do that. I think you need that attacking quality. Moani, of course, a lot of people will be pointing out to say it's harsh on him not to be in here, but in reality, Tell his impact has to start. Richardson's impact has to start, and Simmons hasn't been good enough. He hasn't been consistent enough, but we know what he's capable of. And for me, I look at that team and it has enough offensive players in to cause Palace problems. Porro, Sousa, Sarr, Tell, Xavi, Richardson. I think that's enough. We cannot be going with Basuma and Paulinho. That's just simply too defensive. We have to get our best defensive players in there. Reality is neither Moani or Solanke are the finished article, and neither of them are good enough. Is the black and white way of saying it. However, I think Tudor will go with the same formation, but I think Tudor will go for Vicario over Kinski. I think that's fairly obvious. I think he'll also go with Basuma. I think he'll go with Basuma over Pat Matasar. And I also think that he will take. I don't think he'll play Xavi Simmons. I don't think he'll play Xavi Simmons, and I don't think he'll play Richarlison. I think his front three will be Kolo Muani, Tell, and Solanke. So I read it out 1 to 11. I think Tudor will go with Vicario in goal. I think he will go with the same back line. Danso, Dragusin, and Van der Ven. I think he'll also go with the same fullbacks, Porro and Sousa, with Sousa coming in. He was speaking about him fairly well in his press conference, which makes me think he'll start. I think he'll also start Graham midfield, but I do think he'll go with Basuma. I think he'll go for that defensive head in there. I do think he'll leave Paulinho out. The big shock is I do think he'll leave Simmons out. Like I said, Moani, Tell, and Solanke, I think he will go with. Moani seems to really like. Solanke works hard, and that's what Tudor's about. And Tell, I think he'll recognise his instant impact, but maybe not the instant impact of Richarlison. There we go. Then all that's left is to predict the score prediction. I've got a bad feeling about this game, but I cannot afford to be negative in a time like this. I'll try and be as positive as I can. I don't think we'll win as much as we need to win. I have bad feelings that we'll lose, but I'm going to go with 1-1 to try and be as positive as possible. There's no point in me being negative. The club needs our support. Every game's a final from now till the end of the year. Get involved in the comments below. Your lineup, your thoughts, your score prediction. But it matters so much, this game. Not much, ever lies on solely anyway on a single game. Usually it's like a consistent results. But this win alone would be absolutely huge for Tottenham. It means we're close, very close to Leeds, very close to Palace, within 3 points I'm talking about. And all of a sudden that relegation battle has opened up between about 4 to 5 teams with Tottenham involved in that. It's a lot better than Tottenham being involved in a 3-way battle. If Tottenham could be involved in a 5-6-way battle, all of a sudden there's a lot more possibilities of what could happen. A win is huge for points on the board. West Ham get that win. How many more wins will they get before the end of the year? We want to make it hard. Whatever we do, we need to go out with a fight. And so far, we've brought nothing to the table. We show no fight, no commitment, no heart, no quality. That has to change tonight. Come on, you Spurs.